Hello, brilliant minds. I've been delving into some genuinely powerful ideas about communication and influence, and I believe you'll find them quite illuminating, perhaps even a little revolutionary for how you approach sharing your best ideas. Ever found yourself with a truly fantastic product, a game-changing service, or even just a brilliant concept, yet struggled to make others see its value as clearly as you do? It's a common frustration, isn't it? You know you have something special, but conveying that specialness often feels like trying to explain astrophysics to a goldfish. The good news is, the framework we're about to explore offers some elegant pathways through this. It's less about a forceful sell, and more about a sophisticated, almost collaborative journey you take with your audience, guiding them to a point of confident clarity. Think of it as moving from a monologue to a masterfully orchestrated dialogue, and I'm keen to walk you through the highlights. Prepare for some delightful aha moments. All right, first up, let's consider a common hurdle: the sheer terror of making a big decision. Imagine you need a new, let's say a highly specialized piece of equipment for your laboratory, or perhaps a complex software system for your department. It's not like buying a coffee, is it? The source material we're drawing from uses a wonderfully relatable, almost comical example of buying a toilet. Yes, a toilet. Initially, the protagonist is overwhelmed. So many features, so many brands, so much jargon, like flappers and trapways. They almost give up and stick with the old, potentially problematic toilet. Why is this so useful for you to grasp? Because your audience, when faced with a significant choice, often feels exactly like this toilet buyer. Confused, anxious about making a mistake, and tempted to just do nothing. The elegant insight here is that your role isn't to bombard them with more features, but to become their trusted toilet Obi-Wan, simplifying the landscape, clarifying what truly matters for their specific needs, and helping them navigate to a confident choice. This shift from seller to guide is profoundly effective. Intriguing, isn't it? Now, building on that, let's explore another valuable point: the silent giant in any decision-making process, which is the allure of doing nothing. The principles we're examining highlight a stunning statistic: that a huge chunk of potential deals, sometimes up to 60%, evaporate not because a competitor won, but because the customer simply chose inaction. They didn't feel confident enough to make any choice. Why is this particularly useful for you to grasp? Because it means your most formidable competitor often isn't another company, but the prospect's own inertia and fear of messing up. The framework offers a rather elegant way to think about this. Your pitch must actively make the case for change itself. And then, and only then, for your specific solution as the best path for that change. It's about alleviating that fear, showing them that the risk of staying put might be greater than the risk of moving forward with a well-guided decision. Moving forward, the next insight is a real game changer when it comes to actually structuring your communication. Before you even utter a word about your solution, the ideas presented stress the absolute necessity of rock-solid positioning. Now, why is this particularly useful for you to grasp? Well, imagine trying to give directions without knowing your own starting point or the destination. Positioning is essentially that: knowing your competitive alternatives. What would they do if you didn't exist? Your truly unique capabilities. What can only you do? The differentiated value those capabilities provide. So what? Who cares? Your best fit customers. Who cares the most? And the market category you occupy. What are you, in simple terms? The source material offers a rather elegant way to think about this. Your sales pitch is the vocalization of this positioning. If your positioning is muddled, your pitch will be too, like a song sung off key. Getting this clarity first is like tuning your instrument before a concert. If we've just discussed the importance of knowing your own song, let's see how the opening notes of your pitch provide a crucial piece of the puzzle. Forget the About Us slides or the immediate product dive. Instead, the framework advocates starting with an insight. This isn't just any insight, mind you, but your unique perspective on the market or the prospect situation. One that naturally leads to the importance of your differentiated value. Think of it as the problem within the problem. For example, if everyone is talking about needing faster computers, your insight might be about why current approaches to achieving speed are hitting a wall for a specific type of user, a wall your solution uniquely bypasses. Now, why is this particularly useful for you to grasp? Because it immediately frames you as a thoughtful expert, not just another vendor. It sets the stage perfectly, guiding the conversation towards territory where your strengths shine brightest. It's like a film director choosing the perfect opening shot to establish the movie's entire theme. All right, once you've shared your compelling insight, the journey continues with a candid exploration of alternatives. This is where many feel a bit squeamish, thinking they shouldn't mention the competition. But the source material presents a much smarter approach. You're not there to bash anyone, but to help your prospect understand the landscape. You group alternatives into broad approaches, perhaps the manual way, the basic toolkit approach, and the enterprise-level behemoth. Then you discuss the pros and cons of each approach for different types of users. Now, why is this particularly useful for you to grasp? This step is a golden opportunity for genuine discovery. As you talk through these approaches, you're not lecturing. You're having a conversation, learning about their specific situation, what they've tried, and what their pain points are. You're helping them categorize their options, making the complex simple, and subtly showing where the gaps are. Gaps your solution might just fill. Following this, we arrive at a rather clever step, defining the perfect world. Based on the initial insight and the discussion of alternatives, you collaboratively sketch out what an ideal solution would look like for someone in their situation. It would have the upsides they want, without the downsides they've experienced or fear. Now, why is this so potent? If you've guided the previous steps well, the characteristics of this perfect world will align beautifully with your differentiated value. When the prospect agrees, yes, that's exactly what we need. They've essentially co-created their own purchase criteria, and you're perfectly positioned to show them how you meet it. It's a moment of alignment, not argument. Now, with the stage perfectly set, you introduce your solution, but not as a feature dump. This is the differentiated value segment. You connect your unique capabilities directly to the perfect world criteria they just agreed upon. If you're doing a demonstration, it's not a meandering tour of every button and menu. Oh no. It's a curated showcase, demonstrating precisely how your product delivers those key value points they now recognize as critical. Why is this so much more effective? Because every feature you show now has context and relevance. It's the answer to "so what" for each capability, directly tied to their acknowledged needs. This is where you spend the bulk of your time, making your value tangible. Finally, let's not forget proof and the ask. After showcasing your value, you need to substantiate your claims. This could be through concise case studies relevant to their industry naturally, testimonials, or key data points. It builds that crucial trust. And then, the ask. Don't leave the next step vague. Based on your sales process, suggest a clear, logical next step. Perhaps a more detailed, customized session, a trial, or a proposal. Make it easy for them to say yes to continuing the journey. Why is this clarity vital? Because it maintains momentum and reinforces your role as a confident guide, leading them towards a solution. So, if there's one core insight, one truly pivotal takeaway from our exploration today, it's this. Transform your communication from a self-centered pitch into a customer-centric, guided buying journey. It's about deeply understanding the buyer's often fraught decision process and structuring your narrative to illuminate their path, build their confidence, and naturally lead them to see your offering as the most intelligent choice. Remember, with this perspective, you're now equipped with a more refined way to approach not just formal sales, but any situation where you need to help someone understand and embrace a complex, valuable idea. You're not just selling, you're facilitating enlightenment, one confident decision at a time.